Listen to me carefully. This message is not for everyone. It is for the one who has been crying in secret, wondering when the drought will end. It is for the person who has been faithful, yet nothing seems to move. It is for the one who has given, served, waited, and still finds themselves standing in the valley of lack. I came to declare something today. God is about to shock your bank account. Yes, I said it. Not just bless it. Not just increase it. God is about to shock it. What's coming will make you tremble with awe, because it will be far beyond anything you could have imagined, calculated, or planned for. There comes a time in every believer's journey when heaven decides, enough waiting. A time when God looks at your persistence, your prayers, your faith that refused to die, and says, no, you have entered that moment. You may not feel it yet, but the atmosphere around your life is shifting. God has been silently preparing a sudden overflow. The same account you've watched remain empty will soon be filled with divine surprises. The same hands that have written checks in faith will soon receive deposits that make no logical sense. God is moving, not in small ways, but in supernatural ones. When God shocks your bank account, He doesn't just add numbers. He adds meaning. He adds purpose. He adds favor that cannot be earned. Because true prosperity is not random, it's strategic. God blesses the person whose heart He can trust. That is why He allowed the delay. He was building your character to match your blessing. He was teaching you to depend on Him so that when the miracle came, you would never mistake it as your own doing. The famine trained you for the feast. The lack taught you the language of gratitude. The struggle positioned you to appreciate what's coming. Do not misunderstand this moment. You are not being punished by your problems. You are being prepared by them. God never wastes a test. Every empty wallet, every declined transaction, every painful, no, was a setup for what He is about to release. Some of you think God forgot your seed, but He didn't. The seed you planted in tears is about to produce a harvest in laughter. You've been asking, when God? How long? And God is saying, now. You have stepped into divine timing. Heaven's bank is about to transfer something into your life that the world cannot explain. When God decides to shock your bank account, He doesn't use human systems. He uses favor. He uses people you least expect. He opens doors that weren't even on your map. He whispers your name in rooms where you've never been. He causes opportunities to locate you by divine GPS. You don't chase blessings anymore. Blessings begin to chase you. What used to be difficult suddenly becomes easy. The things you prayed for begin to find their way to your address. Because when God shocks your bank account, it is not a normal transaction. It's a divine announcement that your wilderness season is over. Do you know why your struggle was so intense? Because the blessing that's coming is greater than the pain you endured. God never allows you to go through financial emptiness without a reason. He uses the dry season to break pride, to reveal motives, and to train your spirit to rely on Him completely. That's why when the breakthrough comes, you will know it was God and God alone. Not a man, not luck, not chance, but divine orchestration. You will stand there looking at your account, your business, your opportunities, and whisper, only God could have done this. The moment you shift your mindset from scarcity to faith, everything begins to move. God responds to faith, not fear. If you keep saying, I'll never make it, your words create the walls that trap your future. But when you start saying, God is about to shock my bank account, you are speaking in alignment with heaven's will. The power of your confession is the key that unlocks your provision. What you say determines what you see. Speak abundance even when you feel broke. Speak overflow even when your pockets are empty. Because faith is not about seeing first. It's about declaring until you see. Some of you are one act of obedience away from your financial breakthrough. God may be telling you to release something small so He can trust you with something big. Don't resist the test. When you hold on too tightly to what you have, you block what God is trying to send. The hand that gives is the hand that receives. God cannot fill a closed fist. That's why your generosity matters, not because God needs your money, but because He's training your spirit to let go. Every time you release something by faith, you're saying, God, I trust you more than my balance. That's when the floodgates begin to open. You have to understand, money is spiritual. It's not just numbers. It carries energy, intention, and obedience. When your money is aligned with God, it multiplies. When it's not, it drains. Some people keep losing wealth because their heart is disconnected from divine purpose. But when you make God the center of your resources, He becomes the multiplier. You will give and still increase. You will sow and still overflow. Because your source is not the job, not the client, not the salary. It is God Himself. And when your source is unlimited, your supply will never run dry. Look at your life. You've survived seasons where you should have gone under. Bills that didn't make sense somehow got paid. Debts that seemed impossible suddenly disappeared. That wasn't luck. That was God. You are a living testimony of divine provision. And if God sustained you in lack, how much more will He bless you in abundance? The same God who kept you afloat will now cause you to overflow. You didn't come this far to stay where you are. You are standing on the edge of a financial explosion orchestrated by the hand of God. Get ready for unexpected credits, for sudden approvals, for doors you didn't apply for. Get ready for contracts that find you, for opportunities that chase your name. Get ready for checks that surprise you, for ideas that produce rivers of income. God is not limited by your education, your background, or your environment. When He decides to bless you, nothing can stop Him. He can use the most unlikely channels to bring you increase. He can use a phone call, a random message, a forgotten investment, a divine connection, because God's ways are not our ways. This is not about greed. This is about purpose. God doesn't bless you just to make you comfortable. He blesses you so you can become a channel. You are a vessel of divine resources. When God shocks your bank account, it's not so you can boast, but so you can bless. You will feed families, fund visions, build futures, and lift lives. Your overflow will become someone else's answered prayer. That is the secret of divine increase. when God can trust you to be a river, not a reservoir. The more you release, the more He refills. Many of you are about to experience restoration. The years of loss, of stolen opportunities, of missed chances, God is about to repay them in one sweep of His hand. He will compress time for your sake. What you couldn't achieve in 10 years, He will give you in 1. Because when God steps into your finances, acceleration begins. You will move from not enough to more than enough, from scraping by to soaring high. And when people ask, how did this happen? You will simply smile and say, God did it. But hear me clearly. Before God shocks your bank account, He shocks your mindset. You cannot enter overflow with a poverty mentality. You cannot expect millions while speaking defeat. You must start thinking like someone who's already blessed. The moment you begin to act, plan, and speak like abundance is your normal, you invite it into your world. God doesn't fill empty wishes, He fills prepared vessels. Get ready. Clean your accounts, organize your plans, and build your vision boards, and prepare your spirit for increase. Because when the miracle comes, it will require management. There are seasons when God hides your blessing to test your faith. But when He decides to reveal it, He does it publicly. He doesn't just restore quietly, He restores loudly. People who once mocked your struggle will have to watch your promotion. Those who said, you'll never make it, will see your rise and be silenced by your results. Because when God blesses, He blesses openly. Your story will become a living sermon of divine provision. And you will say, truly, God remembers those who trust Him. Some of you are about to experience divine coincidences, meetings that seem random, but are perfectly timed by God. You will meet someone who becomes the link to your next level. You will receive a message that changes your financial destiny. You will stumble into an opportunity that feels too good to be true. But it's God's way of saying, I've remembered you. When God decides to favor you, everything starts to cooperate. People, systems, timing, even nature itself. All creation begins to align with your miracle. You've carried the pain long enough. The wilderness season has expired. God is turning your scarcity into surplus, your struggle into story, your poverty into purpose. You will look back on this time and realize that every delay was divine. Every closed door was protection. Every no was redirection. God was never late. He was preparing the perfect moment to shock you. And now, that moment is here. Expect divine surprises in your finances. Expect sudden favor. Expect the unusual. When you wake up, declare it. God is about to shock my bank account. When you go to bed, whisper it again. Keep your spirit in expectation. The atmosphere of faith is the birthplace of miracles. What you believe consistently, you will experience tangibly. Stop doubting and start thanking God in advance. Thank Him for the checks you haven't seen yet. Thank Him for the contracts not yet signed. Thank Him for the favor already forming. Gratitude opens the gate for abundance to enter. You are not broke, you are being built. You are not empty, you are being expanded. God is stretching you so He can fill you with more. Every struggle you endured was enlarging your capacity. Now you're ready. Heaven is releasing resources in your direction. What once felt like survival will now feel like overflow. What once was lost will now become legacy. This is your time. God is about to shock your bank account, not just with money, but with meaning, with stability, with freedom. Hold this truth in your heart. Your future is wealthier than your past. Your next chapter will not look like your last. God is not finished. He is just getting started. The same hands that struggled to pay bills will soon sign contracts that bless nations. The same lips that cried in frustration will soon testify in amazement. And when it happens, don't forget, it wasn't luck, it wasn't man, it was God. Your obedience is about to be rewarded. Your faith is about to produce fruit. Your persistence is about to pay off. Heaven has seen your seed, heard your prayer, and recorded your faithfulness. And now, the divine command has been given. Release the blessing. Prepare your heart, align your spirit, and keep your hands open. Because very soon, when you check that account, you will gasp, fall silent, and whisper, "This must be God." Listen closely, for this next moment in your spirit will not be ordinary. There is a divine wind moving even now. God is preparing to place something in your hands that will make every struggle worth it. You see, when God decides to change your financial story, He does it in a way that no one can take credit for. This is not about a promotion. This is not about a business idea. This is not about chance. This is about divine orchestration. God Himself will rewrite the economy of your life. He will shift what looked like nothing into more than enough. You have cried long enough. Now God says, "Watch me multiply what they said was finished." There are people who laughed at your faith, who mocked your prayers, who questioned your giving, who thought your hope was foolish, but they are about to witness the undeniable hand of God upon your finances. When God blesses you, He does not ask for permission. He does not check with your past or consult your background. He simply moves, and when He moves, nothing can stop Him. The doors that once refused to open will now swing wide without effort. The clients who once ignored your calls will now pursue you. The land you thought was beyond reach will soon bear your name. When God favors you, the laws of scarcity lose their power. But let me tell you something deeper. God's blessing is not only about wealth in numbers. It is about the expansion of your capacity. Before God fills your account, He fills your mind. Before He entrusts you with provision, He transforms your perspective. That's why the testing was long, because God was building you into a vessel that could hold abundance without pride, without fear, and without forgetting Him. Some people receive wealth and lose their wisdom. But when God is your foundation, wealth becomes worship. You will handle increase with reverence, not arrogance. You will see money as a servant, not a master. Many of you are stepping into a season of divine creativity. God is about to drop ideas into your spirit. Ideas that will carry the power to change your life forever. You will wake up with concepts that can create income streams. You will find yourself thinking thoughts that seem beyond your education, beyond your experience, beyond your environment, because they are not from you, they are from God. These are heaven-birthed ideas, and when you act on them, They will open financial gates that have been shut for years. God is about to anoint your imagination. When the hand of God rests on you, even small things begin to multiply. A single seed can become a forest. A single opportunity can create generational wealth. You must not underestimate what God can do with the little that remains. Remember, it is not about the size of what you hold, but about the size of the blessing that breathes upon it. God does not need millions to make you a miracle. He only needs your faith. If you will believe that He can turn your handful into a harvest, you will see it happen. God specializes in starting small and finishing great. Now, understand this truth: wealth does not flow toward confusion. It flows toward clarity. God will not pour into a vessel that has no direction. You must write down your vision, your goals, your plans. Align them with divine wisdom. When you show God that you are ready to steward increase, He will not withhold it. Many have prayed for abundance, but are not prepared for responsibility. Preparation is proof of expectation. Get your affairs in order, because what's coming will require structure. If your foundation is weak, the weight of the blessing could crush you. But if your foundation is firm, the flood of provision will lift you higher. There are seasons when God hides your provision until your character matures. Some of you were asking for financial increase while still holding on to habits that destroy increase. God delayed the blessing not to deny you, but to deliver you from what would have sabotaged it. He had to purify your motives, cleanse your hands, align your heart. Because when He blesses you this time, it will not come with sorrow. It will come with peace. The kind of peace that says, I no longer chase because God provides. Be careful how you speak in this season. Your words are seeds. The universe listens to the language of faith. Speak as if your account is already overflowing. Speak as if the miracle has already been released. Because when your words align with God's promise, your world begins to shift. Stop speaking lack. Start declaring abundance. Stop saying, I can't afford it. Start saying, God will provide it. The moment your tongue agrees with divine intention, the heavens begin to act on your behalf. You must also understand that sometimes God will shake your financial situation before He blesses it. He will allow certain doors to close so that you can stop depending on the wrong sources. You may lose a job, but gain a purpose. You may lose a contract, but gain a calling. You may lose people, but gain clarity. The shaking is not punishment, it is alignment. God is breaking attachments that limit your flow. When the shaking ends, you will see why it was necessary. The structures that once drained you will be replaced with streams that sustain you. Do not fear the unknown, because God is already there. He walks ahead of you into every opportunity. He inspects every door before you knock. He examines every transaction before you sign. You will not be deceived in this next season, because divine discernment will be your guard. You will know which opportunities are from God and which are distractions in disguise. Your spirit will sense the difference between prosperity that lifts you and wealth that traps you. God will give you wisdom that protects your harvest. When the divine hand of blessing rests upon you, even the timing of your actions becomes perfect. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, speaking to the right person. You will call someone just as they were thinking of blessing you. You will arrive somewhere at the precise moment opportunity opens. This is not coincidence, this is providence. When God decides to favor you, He synchronizes your steps with success. Listen, wealth without wisdom destroys, but wealth with divine purpose transforms. God is not about to make you rich, just to make you comfortable. He is about to make you a vessel of impact. Your abundance will feed orphans, build dreams, restore dignity, and shift generations. You will use your wealth to break cycles of poverty and despair. This is why the blessing is coming with such power, because God trusts your heart. He knows that you will not forget the source when you receive the supply. There will come a day soon when you will look at your life and realize that everything changed when you decided to believe that God could shock your bank account. That belief ignited heaven's movement, because belief is not passive. It is active energy. It pulls unseen realities into visible form. When you believe with conviction, you give permission for heaven to invade your circumstances. Faith is not fantasy, it is partnership. When your faith meets God's power, impossibilities collapse. I see you walking into a season where money will no longer control your emotions. You will no longer panic at bills or stress over deadlines. You will operate from peace, knowing that God is your provider. You will manage resources with confidence, not fear, because you will understand that true wealth is not the number in your account, it is the peace in your soul. And when peace becomes your foundation, prosperity becomes your companion. Let me tell you something powerful. God does not bless laziness. He blesses diligence. When you put your hands to work with faith, God multiplies your effort. This is the moment to act, to move, to build. Start the project, write the proposal, launch the business, send the message. Faith without movement is empty. God cannot multiply what you refuse to plant. The same God who gives the vision will give the provision, but He expects you to start walking. As you move, resources will appear. As you act, favor will locate you. Be careful not to compare your journey with others. God's timing for you is unique. While some may seem ahead, your breakthrough may be hidden in the process. A fruit that ripens early spoils quickly, but one that matures in season nourishes deeply. God has been ripening your miracle in secret. The wait was not delay, it was preparation. And when it comes, it will last. You won't just have wealth, you'll have stability. You won't just have increase, you'll have longevity. Because God builds for eternity, not for applause. There is also something powerful happening in the unseen. Debts being erased, systems being shifted, names being spoken in high places. God is aligning resources for your sake. Someone right now is planning to favor you without even knowing why. Papers are being signed, opportunities are being positioned, ideas are being conceived, all to fulfill what God promised you. You are about to walk into answered prayers that were sent years ago, but were waiting for divine timing. Do not be surprised when people you never expected begin to bless you. God uses vessels, not always the ones you anticipate. He can use strangers to deliver your blessing. He can use institutions to honor you. He can use even your enemies to fund your destiny. Because when God commands favor, it obeys. It doesn't negotiate, it manifests. Your name is being whispered in rooms of decision. Your work is being remembered by those in authority. Your faith is being rewarded by the one who sees everything. Now hear this truth deep in your spirit. What God is about to do in your finances is not just addition. It is multiplication. He is about to accelerate your growth. The numbers will not rise gradually, they will leap. The opportunities will not trickle, they will flood. The provision will not be partial, it will be overwhelming. God is about to shift your financial level so drastically that even you will have to take a moment to catch your breath. You will stare at the numbers and whisper, "This cannot be real." But it will be real because God has decided that it is your time. You are not here by accident. This message is your confirmation. God has seen your faith, your tears, your perseverance. He has watched you sow when you had little, give when you were tired, and trust when nothing made sense. Now He is responding. He is about to move so powerfully that even your enemies will admit that something divine is happening. You will not need to defend your faith. Your results will speak for you. Stay humble when the abundance comes. Remember that wealth is a tool, not a throne. The more God blesses you, the lower your heart must bow in gratitude, because gratitude keeps the flow alive. The moment pride enters, the stream begins to dry. But when humility governs your heart, God keeps pouring. You will become a living testimony of divine generosity. Someone whose life proves that obedience to God produces supernatural results. My friend, hear me with your heart, not just your ears. You are standing at the edge of a divine turning point. What has looked like stagnation is not the end. It is the quiet before breakthrough so great that even you will not be able to explain it. God has been working behind the curtain of your circumstances, arranging every detail, aligning every opportunity, and preparing every resource. He has been silent because He has been strategic. He has been invisible because He has been intentional. The delay was never denial, it was divine design. The hands of heaven are now moving in your favor. There are moments in life when God tests how much you truly trust Him. When your account is empty, when every door seems closed, when you've done everything right and still see no results, that's when your faith is weighed. Those moments are not meant to break you, they are meant to build you. Because before God trusts you with abundance, He must see if you can still praise Him in the absence. Can you still give thanks when the bills pile up? Can you still believe when you can't see the outcome? If you can remain steadfast in those moments, you are ready for what is coming. God blesses those who trust His timing more than their feelings. God is not limited by your salary, your job, or your background. He can shift your financial destiny in a single moment. He can turn one connection, one conversation, one phone call into a fountain of increase. But here's the secret. He does it when your heart is free from fear. Fear blocks favor. Worry stops the flow. The moment you let go of anxiety and start believing that God is your ultimate provider, you create space for miracles. Faith is not just believing that God can do it. Faith is knowing that He will. When your spirit settles in that certainty, everything around you begins to align. There are people right now who are living testimonies of this truth. They once had nothing, yet one divine moment changed everything. God took their obedience, their faith, their humility, and turned it into abundance. The same God who did it for them is about to do it for you. He is not partial. He is not selective. He honors principles. And the principle is simple. When you put your trust in Him, He releases provision. The same wind of blessing that lifted others is about to lift you. Sometimes God allows your bank account to run dry so you can learn that He is not your last resort. He is your only source. When every human option fails, when every system closes, when every backup plan falls apart, that's when you finally discover the power of divine supply. And when you reach that point, something in you shifts. You stop chasing money, and money starts chasing you. You stop begging, and you start attracting. Because now your faith is rooted not in numbers, but in God. You see, wealth without peace is a curse. Many people have money but no rest. They build empires but lose sleep. They gain possessions but lose purpose. But when God blesses you, He adds peace with it. You will have wealth and wisdom, abundance and alignment. You will not only have things, you will have meaning. You will not just survive, you will thrive. And your heart will remain anchored in gratitude. That is the kind of blessing that lasts. The coming blessing is not for you to spend recklessly. It's for you to build strategically. God is about to fund your assignment. The ideas you've carried in silence, the dreams you've buried under pressure, the visions you've been afraid to speak, those are not fantasies. They are blueprints from God. And when He releases provision, it's not just so you can buy more, it's so you can build more. Build lives, build legacies, build light where there was darkness. The resources coming your way are for kingdom work. To heal, to help, to restore. When God blesses you, He expects you to multiply the blessing. You are not just called to be a receiver, you are called to be a distributor. The divine economy functions through flow, not hoarding. What you release determines what returns. The more you give, the more God entrusts you with, because every time you let go of what's in your hand, you give Him permission to fill it again. Don't close your hands in fear. Keep them open in faith. Because open hands receive open heavens. You are about to witness God move through unconventional means. Expect income from places you never considered. Expect favor from people you never met. Expect opportunities that don't follow your resume. God is not restricted to logic. He operates through divine creativity. He can make your name known in high places without you ever promoting yourself.